Hello guys, my name is Evans and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to continue looking at the October-November 2017 IGCSE ICT Paper 3. In the last couple of videos, we have been doing data analysis, and in this video, we are going to start looking at web authoring section. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's go straight to task number 20 or task number 3, step 20. Okay. So identify a new website is being developed. Okay. At the design stage, you create a test plan. In your own words, identify 2 factors that need to be considered when designing an effective test plan. Okay. So guys, a test plan is actually different from the actual things that you're going to be testing on a web page. Okay, so a test plan basically gives you an idea of areas, purpose, as well as some things that you expect when you run some tests on a particular web page. So this is that. But when you talk about the actual testing methods, for example, you're looking at specific strategies that you can use, okay, in order to test the features that are found on a website, stuff like that, okay. So a test plan and a test strategy are 2 different things, okay. So in this case, we're being asked to identify things that we can consider, okay, before we devise a test plan, okay, and we can type these in our evidence document, okay. So the evidence document is this one, and so evidence 1, which is this one. So in your own words, identify things that you can use that you can consider when you're devising a test plan. So the first thing that I would want us to talk about is the target audience. Okay, usually websites are built for people. And some websites are for, let's say, students, some they are for adults, some are for probably footballers, some for wrestlers, some for boxers and stuff like that. And so each website has got a target that it is intended for. So first of all, you need to consider the target. Consider the target audience. Okay, so this is one area. You can also consider something like where the variables are going to be, things like your inputs, where they're coming from, your output. Okay, what do you expect to see from this website when you give it certain input rather. Okay, so secondly, we'll talk about maybe you consider the purpose of the website. Is it maybe an educational website? Is it a football website? Is it a betting or gaming website? Okay, so you consider the purpose of the website. That is going to help you even when you begin to test your thing. So consider the purpose of the website. Also, you can look at things like that I talked about, like things like the inputs, where the inputs are coming from. So you identify the inputs and outputs. Okay, these are the outputs. Really, here we are talking about the expected outcomes. Okay, things like expected outcomes when you provide certain data. Okay, this is what you expect to see. There is need also devise a description of what will require testing. Okay, so you need first of all to fully state what things are you going to be testing about it. We're not talking about how you're going to go about the testing. We're making a plan. Okay, I'm going to test this aspect. Okay, and this is what it will require for it to be tested fully and stuff like that. Okay, so I think these are enough. It's just 2 marks anyway, so we just need to state 2 points. Okay, so next, identify 2 methods of testing a web page. Okay, now there are different methods that you can use to test a software. Now in our case, we are testing a web page, and there are basically, let me say, 3 methods or 4 methods that you can use. You have what is known as alpha testing, okay? And you have what is known as functional testing. There's also user testing and stuff like that. Then you have there are many other testing, guys, integration testing, system testing, but these depend also on the nature of the program or software that you are making. But for a web page, we are more interested in its functionality as well as its acceptability. Okay, so this is why functional web testing as well as alpha or in-house testing would be appropriate for a website. So so we're just identifying the methods. So what we're just going to do is to identify, to type up the methods here. So we can say in-house. So for in-house testing, it's where you give the people who are within an organization, they can have a look at that website, test it, find out if it has got some loopholes before you actually bring it into the public. Okay, so that's in-house testing. It's similar to alpha testing because it's also done within the constraints of an organization. But in this case, you are probably giving, let me say, fellow programmers maybe to test this. So fellow staff or employees, they'll help to test the system. Of course, you distinguish it to beta testing. In beta testing, where you're talking about a selected few users, okay, from the public, and they're given that privilege of testing the system. You guys, you have a beta software version, and they'll tell you that it's an unstable version, and you don't need so much to rely on it. But in most cases, many beta software, they'll have some errors, and they are constantly being refined from the feedback that people actually give out. Microsoft has developed the Insider program for their Windows. Okay, so you can download a version of Windows before it is released to the public. And that version is not guaranteed that to have everything that you require or to do everything that it is intended to do, but it is just for you to experiment and try out and spot out some of the things and feedback to the organization so that they can rectify them, they can polish up on the system and all. So in-house testing, you can have alpha testing. I'll put them in the same because they are similar. In-house and alpha testing are similar. Then you can have functional testing. Okay, so in functional testing, you're actually looking at the functionality of that website. So you're testing things like, are the hyperlinks working? Are the pictures being loaded? When I click a hyperlink, is it opening the correct page? So you're looking at the functionality of that web page. Okay. Next step, you work for hotels design and you assist trainee web programmers in developing a web page to advertise the islands of Cozumel. Okay. So the web page and style sheet must work in any browser and use the most efficient methods. So all color codes are in hexadecimal. And step number 22 says create a new folder called HTML_173. So I'm just going to copy this, okay? And I'm going to create a folder right in here. So new folder, and I'll give it that name. So it says locate the following files and store them in your 173 folder. So notice we have Cozumel, which is an HTML file, and we have CSS file, and the rest of them are images. So Cozumel and the CSS file, which is this one, and the rest of them are images. So get these are images, and get these are also images. So I should have about 17 items. So I'll cut them and paste them in here. So they are 11 items altogether. So confirm these that there are 11 items: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've gotten all the files that we need. Okay. So from here, take a screenshot showing the content of your HTML 173 folder and place this in your evidence document. Make sure that the folder name image dimensions and all the files, file names, the extensions as well as the sizes, they are clearly visible. So guys, this is very important. Most of the computers that you have, you need to check that all the fields that are mentioned that are required here, they're actually visible. So you have, let's see how many fields they require. So name, that's one, that's folder name. Okay, so this will be shown in the address bar. So this is the field, image dimension, file name, two, extension, and sizes. So the 4 things that we need to show. So let's go ahead. We have the name, we have got the size, we've got the file, the extension, okay? And what we just need now is to add the dimension. So select this and go to more, and from more, scroll down and find a dimension on the Ds. Okay, so pick up dimensions and add it there so that it is shown there as well. Also, notice that we are told that the name of the folder should be shown. So we need to capture also the address bar here on top because it's showing us the name of the folder. So get a screenshot. I'll just get this. Okay, that's enough. And copy it and paste it in my evidence document. Okay. Okay, so I'll just paste it there. Okay, that's good. Next, step number 23. Okay, so open the web page 173cosmail.htm in your editor and in your web browser. So let's open this in an editor and in a web browser. So editor, web browser rather, I'll use this is Firefox, and then I'm going to open it in my front page. Okay, and go to File, Open, and then browse to the location where the files are saved. Okay, so tutorial, not tuition, tutorials, then P3 2017, S files, HTML, and Cosmel is this one. Okay, so we load it and that's fine. Okay, next, carefully examine the web page and the images 173A JPG to 173H JPG. Okay, so let's start with the web page. In the browser, notice we have some text on top. Place last edited by, place your candidate details here. You have some text here. Here we're going to put an image, so you can also give you an idea of what kind of image is going to go just by looking at this placeholder. Okay, where the image is going to go. Okay, if you go back to this one, so to examine this one, you can examine from here. Just go to table properties, for example, and you check some of the properties for this table. It's 600 pixels wide, and there's not much. But also you can check, like for example, where the image is going to go. You can check the cell properties for this one. It's 250 by 443. Okay, so 250 width, 443 pixels the height. Then we need to go and examine the images. So this is why probably they will ask us to choose one suitable image for where we're supposed to place the image there. This is why it's important to check the property for this one here. Check the dimension 250 by 443. So which means an image which is going to fit here is going to carry an approximate dimension which is close to this. Okay, either exact or close to that. So then we need to examine the images. So what I'm just going to do with the images, let me just open them like this. Okay, so this is one of the image. Yeah, we have that one, this one. Okay, we have this one, and they're different images. But again, you can look at the dimensions of the images, and that will give you an idea. If I told you were asked to pick up one image, which is going to be fitting there. So just by looking at the dimensions here, you can tell that you have an image with 90 by 162, and it's way too small compared to the dimension that we have here, which is 250 by 443. So just by looking at that, you can tell that the only two images which are close is this one, 240 and 240. But again, if you look at these two images, take a look at the sizes. Okay, so you have got one image which is 22 and you've got one image which is 68. Okay, so depending on what image that you are going to depending on the image that you choose, whether this one or this one, you need to justify. Okay, so I've examined the images. Now what I need to do is select the most appropriate image from 173A to 173H and place this in the table and add alternative text to this image. Okay. Um, so let's see. We're going to add an image here. So I'll delete this text here. It is just the placeholder, and I'll insert an image. Okay, I'll insert an image. So these images, they are not, let me just verify. So the image in question that I want to pick up this one. I pick up this one because it is smaller in size. It will load faster than this one, which is 68 KB. Okay, so I'll pick up 173G. Okay, 173G and select it. And notice that the image actually fits in there. But in our case, the image doesn't seem to fit here. It's just the orientation for this image. My screen is small. It's a 15-inch, so it may not so much be visible. But if you take this in the browser, for example, preview in browser, let's take this. Yes. And notice in the browser, it actually fits somewhat closer to the dimensions that we have. Okay. Next, I'm going to add an alternative text to this picture. Now, I don't know what this picture is all about, but we can just find some text, something to type about this. So, image of let's say Cozumel Island, maybe. Image of Cozumel Island, not Sismel, Cozumel. Okay. At least there's something. Okay, they haven't told you exactly what to type, but at least there's something. Okay. Say okay, and that is that. So what happens if the image has not yet loaded? Okay, like if the image doesn't get to be loaded in the browser, what will happen is that if you hover your mouse over this image, the alternative text is going to be displayed. Okay. So yeah, so I think that is on step number 23. Okay, so the last one is step 24, and we're going to evaluate in our own words the choice of the image used in step 23, and we should write in our evidence document with no more than 100 words. So let's go ahead and make an evaluation. So remember, we talked about the image chosen has dimensions close to the dimensions of the placeholder. Okay, so the placeholder is the space where the image was going to go. So it was 250 by 443, and the dimension of the image was actually 240 by 400, something like that. Okay, so the image chosen has dimension close to the dimension of the placeholder, and it also has a smaller file size, meaning it will be loaded faster than images such as, then you can pick up maybe an image with a larger file just from looking here. Look at this one. This one is 2 MB. Okay, this one is almost 2.5 MB rather. 173. Okay, such as 173A. Okay, there's a larger dimension, so this one will take time to be loaded. And also other images have larger dimensions, which make them unsuitable. Okay, which makes them unsuitable for for use in the placeholder. Okay, so I hope I have okay, so it's supposed just to be 100 words or so. Okay, but notice that it's going to be 4 marks, so you need to justify, for example, why other images you did not use them. Okay, for example, image image 173A and 173B, 173A and 173B have a higher resolution or larger dimension. Okay, a higher resolution or larger dimension. Okay, that makes them unsuitable for this one, for being used. Also, you can talk about let's see, some images such as this one, which are too small, the dimension, such as 173D and 173H, 173D and 173H are too small for the placeholder. Okay, yeah, that should be enough, guys. You should get your 4 marks just by writing that. Of course, you can think about other things yourself if you want. Okay. All right, so in this video, I'm going to end here and I'll continue in the next video shortly. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to share, to comment, to subscribe, and like the videos. See you.